Today, we wrap up another season and year of AD Podcasts. I'd like to thank Joe Roberts for taking the time to talk all things Princeton Vikings for the fall, winter, and spring seasons to keep the fans up to date. Joe, how are we doing this morning?
Hey, Rob, it's great to talk to you as we close out the 23-24 school year and the 24 spring season. It's just been another great Monday to get the chance to talk to you.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you for your time as always. At the end, we'll talk about the shows for the next season, but let's go in reverse order today. Let's go inside and talk Coach Duckworth's volleyball Vikings, and they had a really nice week to start to wrap up the regular season. I think I saw they were 3-1, and then they on Wednesday first round of the playoffs over at Moeller. So it's coach has to be pleased.
Yeah, starting back to last Monday with grabbing wins Monday and Tuesday against Northmont and Mount Healthy, and both on the road. Traveling to Northmont after school on a Monday and battling 75 traffic never is fun, or it could be a better adventure. But going up there and grabbing that in 4, and then turning around and coming back and getting some really good time in, and allowing Coach Duckworth put in a lot of the younger kids on Tuesday with Mount Healthy. They're a varsity only team.
Okay.
They're a growing team. So it was a good match for them. And Mount Healthy really stood up well in that second match against us. And then we headed over to Loveland, and we went against a pretty tradition-rich, pretty strong senior laden team, if you will. And she took it 4. And, the kids really did, battle. But then turned right back around on Thursday and headed on the road and headed to Trotwood and grabbed a really great win, varsity only again. And it was another wonderful opportunity for kids who don't necessarily see a full rotation on the floor to get on that floor and get themselves some experience, because we're building into next year. So, finishing where we were overall is pretty darn good for us in terms of being able to get the matches in that we got in, 9 and 10 overall. But then we head over to Moeller this week for the opening round match, and Moeller is they're strong.
Yeah,
they really, really are. But I think she's going to see a lot of good things out of our kids. Our seniors are not going to stop. They're there to compete. And so we're extremely excited about that. Also, this past weekend, and I know the GMC will release it at a later point, but we had our all conference voting. And so Coach was able to get some kids up there. And I know when the GMC releases it, we'll be extremely excited about the performance and the outcome there. So hats off to boys volleyball this year. Just extremely proud of their work and what they did.
you have to be so pleased as the administrator of where coach is taking the program, where it's going, and just the foundation that's being built.
Well, she serves such a great role for us, both as associate athletic director and boys volleyball coach. And, she's a longstanding volleyball coach in general, coached the girls here at Princeton for many, many years, and then just transitioned over to boys. And, I've told her she can, we'll reevaluate her after the 2026 season. Then after that season, then we'll evaluate where she is moving forward. And I say that in tongue in cheek, because I do really appreciate what Coach Duckworth does for our student athletes here at Princeton.
No question. Well, congratulations on a season well done. Good luck this week at Moeller. And let's go to track and field, Coach.
Well, we headed up to Welcome Stadium this past weekend and ran and competed in the Roosevelt. And I believe our girls came out of there as champions of the Roosevelt meet. And the boys, I may have been runner-up, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong there. But we got to go up, and Coach Braddix was texting me as they got there just how impressed he is with Welcome Stadium and the refurbishments that they've made to the facility. And he put our kids in a great situation. He and Coach Curtis Smith put our kids in a great situation, because we're going to be there for the state meet. So our kids are now a little bit used to the facility. They got a great look at it. They can see like little intrinsic things that go on in track and field that students don't think about in terms of where's our team camp going to need to be? Where's the exchange zone? Where's the check-in area? What does it look like? And things that they need to kind of get themselves ready for. And once you reach that state meet, it's on a quite a large stage, but
Sure.
saw some unbelievable competition, extremely fast track on Saturday, even though the weather was the weather. But really excited about how we finish. And then, of course, here we go. Wednesday night, we'll head over to Mason and the GMCs begin. So I will be there on Friday night for the finals in Mason, but just excited about that. And then I do want to give a big shout out real quick. We had some kids that were able to get to Milford for the middle school Milford Invite on Friday, and we had some school record breakers and some record setters for us.
That's so exciting.
And some qualifiers for this weekend's state meet up at Hilliard this week. So best of luck to our middle school track team as they head to the middle school state championships.
Joe, I wondered if any of the track varsity track coaches commented on the wind. I was wondering. I know when I used to go to Welcome Stadium for football, I always was surprised how windy it was there. It was like a wind tunnel. I wondered if it was like that in the spring.
I don't know if it was this week just because of the weather. But, I was up there earlier in the week doing a quick site walkthrough, and you can feel it. You can feel the difference. If it's sunny outside, the wind is going to carry you in a little bit different direction. So you're right. That's a great point for them to factor into. But I think the weather changed that a little bit this weekend. So I'll be curious to see when I talk to the coaches how they felt about that.
Sounds good. Well, best of luck to them as they're now in tournament time, and I hope they have great success. And congrats to the middle schools setting some PRs and some school records.
Yeah,
outstanding. Let's go over to boys tennis. I believe they had GMC this past week at Mason. Do I have that right?
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, we were over at the GMCs on Thursday. As a team, we finished 7th in the tournament, and as a team, we finished 7th overall in the season. Saw some really good things out of a couple of our kids. Schmall and Hall did a really good job this week, and hats off to Sycamore, because as the host of the tournament, we ended up playing indoors. It came down to Sycamore and Mason in the finals, and on Saturday, and we played it over at Queen City. Even though, as we knew this was going to happen, it was absolutely gorgeous on Saturday at 8:00 in the morning. And lo and behold, we were done, pictures taken, trophies presented, all conference presented, and everybody was on the road at 10:10 a.m. and it opens up at 10:11 around here. And I mean, it was just something to behold. And I'm like, well, we could have done this outside and gotten it in, but we took it up on the right thing to do, and we played it indoors. Sycamore ends up as champions. Both of those schools just have really, really strong tennis programs. I mean, they really do.
Joe, is that an upset, Sycamore beating Mason?
Single retained that trophy.
Oh, they did. Okay.
They did. They retained that trophy. So, I mean, Mason's number one single player. He's a sophomore, I think. He's out with an injury.
Oh.
But Sycamore's one is really, really good. But the Vikings really have shown such an improvement in terms of tennis. And like we talked about last week, 12 seniors. Tennis is growing again. Tennis is interesting again. Tennis is exciting again. And Coach Mulholland and Coach McCauley, our two boys coaches, they've set that bar for our kids. Our kids enjoy playing the sport. And I think that the future is really, really bright for Princeton tennis. 2001, we won a state title, I believe.
Okay.
And what I feel like, I'm not putting us on that scale, but I feel like we're starting to get to that point where we're finding groups of kids who play the sport. And when you find groups of kids who play the sport, it's going to grow the sport. So just really excited about that. This Wednesday, we'll head to Mason for sectionals, opening round of sectionals. Again, this is one of those, it's now an individual sport inside a team game. We're really trying to see who we can put in a position to try to get out and advance into districts.
Sure.
And it's anybody's game. Of course, I kind of made fun of Coach Mulholland. I wasn't a part of the seed meeting, but we're a host site as well for sectionals this week. He could have stayed here and helped us, and played at home, but no, he's got to go to Mason, and that's totally okay. So, best of luck to him this week too, and best of luck to our Viking tennis players.
Coach, does it help having that association with the indoor facility almost right next door to you guys, when numerous schools that I do podcasts with couldn't get any matches in at all?
Yeah.
because of the weather, and you guys having that partnership next door has to help the program, right?
It does, and again, thank you, Queen City Tennis Club, Racket Club, for supporting us. Um, there's still costs associated to it.
Yes.
However, when on Friday of last week, when I called over there and I explained the situation, the management staff, they are so supportive because, again, they want the sport to grow too.
Sure.
And so they just simply, I said, we need 5 courts. And they're like, done, here it is, booked it. But then they say, but we do have a tournament starting at 11:30, and I said, we'll be out of here unless one of those matches go longer than I anticipate. We'll be out of here, and they even are understanding that. They're like, we completely understand. If we got to hold the tournament for a minute, we will. But again, they're completely supportive of that. And then again, as we look at this week's weather, as our host venue here for D2 and D1 tennis Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, I already laid the groundwork for them over there for us to move matches in. Now, we don't get 5 courts or 10 courts all secured for us, but we'll be able to try to, because the key is for us to advance this tournament through the best we can.
Yeah, that's a great partnership, Joe. Well, best of luck to boys tennis as they wrap up the tournament season and on a season well done. Let's girls lacrosse is winding down their regular season this week, and it's been I think it's been probably a productive season and a gratifying season for the staff and for the kids, and probably a foundation building season.
Oh, very much so, Rob. I mean, again, we had 2 seniors that are graduating, and one of the 2 had been with the program for 4 years, and the other senior had been with the program for 3 years. And so they have to feel really, really good about what we've been able to do in lacrosse.
Good question.
We've got, we are going to close out the season this week. I know we're at McNick on Thursday, I believe it is. And so that there's no question that our girls lacrosse program has become something of interest for our students. And so Coach Short and Coach Miller, our 2 coaches, they have a task in front of them, and they're going to have a camp this summer. They're going to do some things there to try to continue to grow the sport, get the program interested, get people involved, teach them the game the right way. Our speed really does help us, and that's been a huge bonus for us this year. They had a really solid win last week against Chillicothe, and Chillicothe is physically tough. You think about a Chillicothe, a Zanesville, those are you come from tough areas, and they battled against our kids, but our speed really did show because you can move the ball so quickly.
Yes.
And I'm really excited about them closing out this season, getting things ready, but I'm excited about us entering the GMC next year. And I'm excited about what's to come in the future for Viking lacrosse.
Yeah, congratulates them on them wrapping up the regular season and the future to come for girls lacrosse at Princeton. So best of luck. Let's go softball. Looks like they open tournament play tonight, weather permitting, I guess, at Anderson. I don't believe they.
Yeah, as fate would have it, we were supposed to host the Viking Softball Classic on Saturday. We were slated to start at 9 a.m. The rain the night before bumped us back. We ended up trying to start at, I think it was 10:30, if I remember correctly. And of course, like I said, at 10:11, the world opened up on us on this side of town, and
yes, sure did.
We ended up having to cancel those matches on Saturday. But we grabbed a league win this past Wednesday against Middletown. That day, it was Middletown Day in softball. So the varsity team grabbed a win, the JV team grabbed a win, and our middle school softball team grabbed a win against Middletown. So we pulled the broom out a little bit. But we'll head to Anderson tonight to open up sectional play. And then we have to turn right back around Tuesday and Thursday of this week. We've got to get 2 league games in. We've got Sycamore and at Colerain that we still need to play to finish out the season. And those are critical games for us. So we're looking forward to trying to close that out, but we're looking forward tonight to getting over to Anderson,
Sure.
In playing a really good Raptor team. And I think though, again, I'll equate it just like lacrosse. Our speed could really help us on the bases if we put it to use. We've got to get the bat on the ball. I don't think we need to hit for power tonight. I think we need to get the bat on the ball. We need to reduce the number of errors. And if we do those things, I think we can come out on the top end.
Yeah, that's exciting. Well, good luck tonight against the Raptors, and then wrapping up the regular GMC season this week. And if you get the W tonight, those 2 games this week will keep them fresh for the next round of tournament play. So best of luck to girls softball. Let's
Absolutely,
talk
absolutely.
these sports this week. Let's talk baseball. Looks like they, at least as far as the schedule goes, they ended the week with a couple of wins over Middletown in Wyoming. Today have Western Brown. Let's see, at Western Brown today, weather permitting, hosting Fenwick on Wednesday, heading across the creek to take on Reading. And Reading's got a nice club this year before you take on Harrison on Tuesday, the 14th.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, last week was good, grabbing 3 in a row. Getting 2 league games against Middletown. That was important for our kids last week. Wyoming's a good baseball team.
Yes.
They play really good baseball.
Yes.
That was a fun game to watch. It broke out at the end for us, and really, really happy with grabbing those 3. And then of course Friday we celebrated our seniors, and in the rain. And I guess that's the new thing. We just do it in the rain. But we celebrated our seniors on Friday. We were up in that game early. We had a chance to kind of put it out early. The rain came. They raked the field. They put the diamond dry out. We did everything we could because I think the umpires and both coaches and the players themselves said, we want to play. As long as there's no lightning, let's play. But we had an exciting finish. We let them get back in it a little bit, and then we closed it out strong. And then, like you said, Rob, we've got 3 this week that are pretty good non-league closing games for us that are going to really kind of set it. Western Brown being in our district, and so we could see them down the road if we were able to grab a couple. Reading and Fenwick will be really good testers. Now let's just keep our fingers crossed if we're able to get them in. And then, of course, next Tuesday we'll head to Harrison. To open up sectional play at 5 o'clock. So really excited about what's in front of us there too.
Yeah. Well, best of luck to them as they wrap up their season. Joe, thanks for 3 seasons of great AD podcasts. I wanted to share with the fans. We're looking at tweaking things for next year, going instead of 8 weeks, we'll do 10 weeks. And we're going to work in some coaches and players and kind of do a 50-50 AD coaches, players for all 10 weeks. So do 30 shows next year. And we're kind of drawing it up on an Etch-a-Sketch right now because we're not quite sure how we're going to do it. But the shows have been great because of great insight from yourself, and we're just going to build on it next year. And so we're excited to get back at it early in August. If
I get 30 Mondays to talk to you, Rob, the 24-25 school year is going to go even faster. I am so excited about that.
Sounds good, Joe. Have a great summer. Thanks for everything as always, and we'll talk soon.
You too. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks.